Welcome to the Be Empowered interview series with your host, Rashida Kamaria Williams.
Hello, hello. It's Rashida Kamaria Williams, Chief Empowering Officer for Empowered Flower Girl. And I'm super excited because we are back with another episode of the Be Empowered interview series. Yay! You know that I am always connecting you with amazing change makers in our communities and globally who are making a significant impact. And today I am truly honored to have a guest who I had an opportunity to meet a couple months ago, who was so impressive and who had such amazing positive energy that I said, you know what, I have to have her on our show. I want to introduce her, but I will allow her to also share about the wonderful work that she is doing. But I am pleased to connect you with Alexis Wilson of Exalt Management. She is the founder and CEO, and she is also get this, a mindset coach. I will let her do a little explaining about that, but if you all have been following me, you all know that I am a proponent of mindset, mindfulness, and the law of attraction. So, thank you so much for joining us, Alexis. I am so glad that you had an opportunity to connect. Yay.
Yes, thank you for having me. I'm glad that we got to connect too. I remember the day that I was doing that workshop, and I was like, she seems like everyone's favorite mentor here in the room.
Oh,
Super vibrant, and I'm glad we got to connect further too.
yes, yes, yes. And I'll be sharing with everyone exactly how we met in just a moment. But I would love for you to kind of give us a little bit of background about the work you do because you have an interesting and multifaceted career,
Mhm.
which I think will be very helpful for those who may be viewing who are like both of us, multi passionate
Mhm.
entrepreneurs. But, kind of give us a little bit of background about your career journey and what you do with Exalt Management.
Yeah, so I started Exalt Management back in 2018. Exalt is a talent agency that specializes in mindset transformation. And I know that that is a mouthful. So, what that means is we do what any other talent agency would do in terms of contract negotiations, representation, getting our clients brand deals, but we also cater to the inner world because we really stand on the principle that your business can only be a reflection of you. At the end of the day, if we're dealing with an athlete, we want them to be high performing, on the field and off the field. If we're dealing with a musician, we want you to be high performing on the stage and off the stage. If you're a wreck on the inside or you're all over the place on the inside, it's going to show up in your work. And so we
Absolutely.
offer our clients mindset coaching to make sure that they not only are aligned with their purpose, but that they are becoming the kind of person that can not only maintain high levels of success, but can sustain them in the long term.
Great, great. Now, how did you get into the entertainment industry? Like, well, where did your career, where in your career did you decide that entertainment was right for you? Because I know there's been times where I've done some work in the entertainment industry and performing arts, and I know sometimes working with entertainers and athletes can be very stressful, um, but it also can be very rewarding, right? So I'm just curious to hear about your path.
Yeah. So, I mean, transparently, growing up, I never had the intention to work in the entertainment industry. It
Mhm.
was never like a lifelong dream of mine or anything like that. I knew I loved business, I knew I was very entrepreneurial. And I remember myself starting with wanting to find my purpose and lean into my strengths and really feel like I was doing the work I was created and brought to this earth to do. And in that, I got a download of this vision and I saw this talent agency, but it was extremely purpose driven. And mind you, at the time, I was still based in Detroit and I didn't even know what the word talent meant. Like it felt, I was just like, what does this even mean? And what does this mean to be a manager? And like, I'm not understanding this. We don't have like
Mm,
entertainment, ecosystem here in Detroit. But I saw it and I saw it very, very clearly. And so I just began doing a lot of inner work and began to see that long term the vision was if I can plant seeds of purpose in the people with influence who have the eyes and ears of millions
mm,
of people of
that
our
part.
next generation to me, that is how I can make the biggest impact. And so my desire to work in entertainment was birthed from a place of just pure purpose and me wanting to know for once and for all, what is the thing I'm supposed to be doing? Because I was in college, trying different tracks and different programs and different things. And I was talented at so many different things. Like I thought actually I was going to go into fashion. I was making my own prom dresses, my own homecoming dresses. I was designing.
Oh, wait a minute. Now, wait a minute. Step back. I didn't know about that.
Yeah, you could tell me I wasn't going to be a fashion buyer or a designer
Okay.
or something. Like I thought that was the path that I wanted because I was good at it. I could pretty much do I whatever if I could make something with my hands, I could do it. Like it just was natural. But I
That's awesome.
knew that something was off, like some like that true fulfillment wasn't there. So it was really that deep season of like seeking, specifically when I was a junior in college for like that whole year. I was so committed to really being able to tap in with myself and identify what that purpose was for myself. It was just why I guess I am so purpose driven because I know that it's the catalyst to true fulfillment and to making the most impact for people.
Absolutely. And I really love what you said about, being led down this path and being purpose driven in the work that you do. Um, I think it's important for people to understand that sometimes we can, we can have an idea of what we want to do, right? But sometimes that can change and it could pivot. And sometimes, God, universe, whatever you call your higher power or your higher self, right, can say to you, actually, this is the path that I want you on. And
Mm-hmm.
this is the path that's going to help you to uh, make an even bigger impact. And you're going
Mm-hmm.
to serve people in a way that's going to help them and continue to give back down the line. So uh, it's very fascinating when I hear people talk about how their minds are set on one particular career or one
Mm-hmm.
particular path and things change. I didn't intend to be a social entrepreneur myself. I didn't intend to be the founder of Empowered Flower Girl. I was just going to write a book. So
Yeah.
it's always interesting to hear people's pivot stories, right? Um,
Mm-hmm.
but what I love about that and what I loved about when we first met, in fact, just to give everyone a little background, we met at Boss Blue, which is an amazing community of women and non-binary entrepreneurs and founders here in the Detroit area. And we were at an event for the Future Founders Program, which is an awesome program that Boss Blue has partnered with the Balmer Group to present this program for young entrepreneurs, our future founders, our future entrepreneurs, business owners, and professionals. And we were having an event there, and they had all of the amazing mentees there. And Alexis delivered, which was one of the most inspiring presentations that I've seen so far in the program. And there was at one point you were speaking to one of the young ladies in the program, and you were really helping her to hone in on the skills that are going to make her a successful entrepreneur. But it was even beyond just the tangible skills. It was beyond the what successful entrepreneurs do. It was more about their being,
Yeah.
right? And you were asking her, who does she need to be the successful entrepreneur? Um, and so I wanted to just shift into those mindsets that we need to have, or how we need to shift our focus to become successful, right, in our careers or in our businesses. Are there any particular habits of successful entrepreneurs, athletes, entertainers, successful people, their mindsets? Are there any particular habits that they should have, or any characteristics that you think make them successful?
For sure. I think with all of the people that I've worked with, no matter what medium they're in, whether they are, an entertainer or entrepreneur or athlete, they all have a growth oriented mindset. They care about getting better. They care about their personal development. They understand the power of the mind. You don't have to convince them that they should have a coach. You don't have to convince them that they should watch the media that they take in. You don't have to convince them that they could do, well by reading a book or two or taking in an audio book. They want to grow, they want to get better. And they also know that they can't see their own blind spots, which is why they do work with coaches, or they do decide to go to therapy if they're dealing with some emotional things. Like, they have people in their corners that can help them see those blind spots so that they can continue progressing. So they don't take feedback as a attack. They take it as, oh, you must really love and care for me because you want me to get better.
You
So
know
I
what? Wait a minute, because I
crucial.
have to pause on that, because
Okay.
that right there is a mind shift change in of itself,
Yeah, for
right?
sure.
Being able to take that feedback, and see it as love, right? Not breaking you down. But no, I'm sorry. That was just like a gem, a nugget right there.
Sure. Faithful are the wounds of a friend, like
Hmm.
1,000%. I'd much rather have a wound from a friend than a wound from an enemy, because the wound from the friend is going to be the one that helps me to be better. And it might sting in the moment, but it's going to help me elevate. It's going to help me be a better person. And I'll take that any day.
Yeah, absolutely. So for you, and staying focused and motivated, because I'm sure there are a lot of things that come your way. You're a busy person. There's so much going on in the world, and then in our careers and our daily lives, our relationships. How do you stay focused? How do you stay focused on the goal, or how do you stay focused on, just really, um, living above the noise and the drama, right? But staying focused and true to yourself.
Yeah, so I actually love that you asked that question, because my definition of focus actually changed within the past year. I used to think that focus was about the level of intensity I could give to a goal or to what I wanted. Now I define focus as saying no to everything that is not the thing that I want, and not adding additional things to my plate. Because sometimes that intensity and that excitement can make you say yes to way too many things because
Too
you want
much.
the thing to
Yes.
happen. And it's like, no. So for me, my answer on staying focused is also on saying no. It's like, if I'm saying I want to do more mindset workshops, literally, so interesting. In January, when I did that workshop, I only worked towards getting booked for mindset workshops in the month of January. That was the only thing that I worked towards. I did not allow myself to work on anything else other than that. And I hit my goal.
See?
And
Okay.
it was really hard for me to do that, because I'm like, I have, merch that can come out, and product, and I could focus on doing my one-on-ones. I could focus on group coaching. There's different things that I can do to continue to grow and expand in the mindset space. But it was like, but what is the most important thing? What is going to drive the needle? And I think asking myself what's going to move that needle
Hmm.
helps me to define the focus. And then from there, I'm saying no to everything that is not that thing.
Yeah. And I think so many folks who are watching this, I'm pretty sure that hit home, because I in fact can be guilty of that, right? Saying yes to everything because it sounds good, or because it's really going to benefit people, right? And we know that there are so many causes, so many charities, so many issues, that we can be part of the solution for, but we can't always do them all of the time, right? We're just one person. So sometimes we have to say no, or maybe, let's go back
Right.
to that later, right? We can go back to it later, right?
Yep. Mhm.
It's okay. It's saying no. No being a complete sentence, as they say.
Complete sentence.
Complete sentence. I have to remember that though.
Mhm.
But shifting back to young people, because I know that you have worked with young people, and in fact, even with college students, as well as our high school students, because I do want to talk about the menternship
Mhm.
program in just a moment. But I know a lot of young folks will sometimes have this self-doubt, or they may fear, um, they may have this fear of failure, right? Even when they haven't even tried, they fear failing, but they haven't even put forth that first effort. that can paralyze so many people even before they get started. What are some suggestions that you have for helping young people, and I guess people of all ages, to build that resilience? Like, how can they, develop a winning attitude? You work with athletes. How can they develop a winning attitude even when they feel like, man, I failed, or maybe they're not even giving themselves a chance?
Yeah, I would say if they feel like, man, I failed, I would say get comfortable failing. Um,
Mm,
I wish it could be something else, but it's like you have to fail. You have to get over that. You're either going to be someone that does not try and you're going to stay exactly where you are. That's the only way you cannot fail.
this is
And
true.
I wish it was anything else, but it's like you need the failures because the failures build you. The failures are what teach you how to pivot. The failures are what lead you to the right path and the right answers. Because if you fail and you don't just tap out and you decide to try again, I bet you won't do the same thing you already did. I bet you will go and try and figure out what do I need to do differently so that I
Yeah.
don't fail again. You need to check those failures off. Great, I failed. I can keep going. I
I like
great.
that, a checklist of failures.
You need that. So that's one thing I would say. And then also it's like you you just can't, it's not something that you can navigate around. You have to do it scared.
Do it
I don't
scared.
I
Oh
don't want to
boy.
help people try and get rid of the fear. No, you need to learn how to navigate through the fear, actually. You're going to have to do it while you're afraid. And I actually think, and I say all the time, like if it, you should always be doing the thing that excites you a lot and scares you a little bit, where it's like, "Oh,
Yep.
this is actually crazy." That's that sweet spot. You need that. That's probably the thing. You're probably just feeling resistance because your body and your brain are designed to keep you safe. They could care less about the goal that you set. They could care less about
Mm.
your success. Your
Okay,
brain,
getting scientific on this, huh?
listen, I have to get scientific because that's how I process information. If I don't understand the why behind it, it's literally in one ear and out the other. Half of my brain is very analytical, very, very logical. So I needed that, which was a part of my process in finding my purpose and figuring out how to have these high performing habits. It
Mm.
was understanding the science of it. So when people are facing that fear or facing that resistance, it's really just your brain and body trying to keep you safe because that's what its job is to do. When you introduce a new habit, which is a new pattern, which will require you to take on a new identity, to do new things, to try new things, there's a part in your brain, your amygdala, that starts going off and it's like, oh, no, this is new. I'm processing fear right now. Yeah, let's make you super scared so that you don't move forward with that.
Right.
Because we have programming to stay on. We need to keep these patterns in place. So let's make you feel a little resistant here. So your brain is just doing what it's supposed to do. That's a normal response. You
This is
should be
true.
scared.
Fight or
That
flight, right?
yeah, it means it's a new thing and it's probably the thing that's going to elevate you to your next level. And again, you need to see it as a good thing. That means your body is functioning as it should. That means your brain is doing exactly what it should. And you're going to continue to build the habit, continue to educate yourself, continue to practice whatever the thing is that you want to do so that you can ease your body and let your brain know, hey, it's okay, it's safe. We are expanding, we are doing something new, but it's safe to do this.
Yes, and I absolutely love that. Yes, because that when you get into flight or fight mode, honey, sometimes you will
Oh,
throw those goals out the window and say, "Oh, it must not. It's not meant to be. It wouldn't be so hard if it was meant to be." I've had those conversations with myself before, like, it was really meant to be. I wouldn't have all this resistance.
No, but you would.
Exactly. It's me trying to take the easy way out. That happens.
Yeah, it does. It does.
Uh, but just shifting over, well, actually, I guess a continuation of this conversation, since we're talking about young people and those who are really trying to find their way, whether it's in their careers or in academics, even just find their place in life. What suggestions do you have for young people who may still be a little bit confused or not sure about what it is that they want to do? Sometimes they think they need to have it all figured out before college. And I mean, I get it because sometimes I'm trying to figure out a college major or trying to figure out if you're going to go into a skill trade or actually you're going to do with your life can be intimidating or hard. But what do you say to those young people who are feeling some kind of way because they may
Mhm.
not have it all figured out? They're a high school junior and they're like, I really don't know what I want to do.
My advice would be you really shouldn't know exactly what you want to do at that stage because we haven't been taught to identify with purpose or to do inner work. So why would I expect you to know how to do that when you're 17 or 18 years old? You're not going to get taught that in college either, which means
Mm,
that you have to take agency and go inward, read books, look online, find a mentor, go on social media and type in how to find my purpose. And you might come across a video. You might come across my page. Shoot me a DM, email me, like do something, take
you all
action.
hear that? I
You're
hope
not going
I hope you're taking notes. I'm going to put this information in the description and share it on social media. But
yes,
as
there are
Alexis
people that
said,
can
reach
help you.
out.
Yeah, reach out. Like you are going to have to take agency because we're not taught when we're 6 years old how to identify with our value system. We're
Mm,
just not. We're not ever taught that. I don't know anybody personally that was taught that. I only know people that went and sought out that kind of information.
exactly.
I just don't. So I would say, you have to go inward. You have to seek and you have to know and believe that what you seek is also seeking you too. Like your purpose, the thing that you are called to
Mm,
do wants for
mm.
you to find it just as much as you do. It's called
I
a
love
calling
that.
for a reason. It's calling you, but you have to open your ears up. You have to sit still. You can even, start by doing a 1 minute meditation with yourself and sitting down and saying, okay, for the next 60 seconds, I'm going to see if anything comes to mind when I am asking myself, what do I feel pulled to in this life? And if you could
Um,
just sit and just have intentional thought for just 60 seconds a day.
I'm literally doing that right now. Honestly, I felt like a calm come over.
Yes, and it's just with the intention of the
Yeah.
thought. It's your heart posture. It's doing that inner work just as much as you're focusing on the academics. Because again, in my answers from the very beginning of like, how did I get started with Exalt? It wasn't like, well, I always knew I was going to be in entertainment. It was like, no, I started because I really wanted to find my purpose. And so for a whole year, I dedicated all of my free time. I wasn't at parties. I wasn't at none of that. I was trying to study how to become a better human being,
Mm,
studying how to find my
wow.
purpose, studying how to optimize my habits. And it paid off significantly, so much that I can help other people do that for themselves today. So I would just say go inward, start with what you have. You may not have access to a mentor. Like I said, go on. I know y'all have social media. I know y'all
Yes. And
TikTok.
Chat GPT and all the rest of the AI bots.
You have all types of resources, but you do have to use them. I wish, it was a simpler, I don't even think that's not a simple answer. I wish it was an easier answer, but the simple answer is you're going to have to seek it yourself.
Wow. Great advice, great advice. And you did mention the word mentor and seeking mentors. I am a huge proponent of mentoring and the power of mentors to make a difference in uh, young people's lives, but also peer mentoring, right? At any stage of mentoring, I think is valuable. So could you tell us a little bit more about the mentorship program or organization
Yeah.
and what you're doing or hope to do with the work there?
Yes. So I started the Menternship back in 2017. And I started it because I wish that I had it. I wish that I did not have to go through that year of bumping my head and figuring things out. I wish I had someone to guide me through and teach me what I had to learn the long, long, hard way. So I started it from that place. I knew that I wanted to, like I said, I've always loved business. I knew that I wanted to cover business and branding, but I also knew that I wanted to help people with character development and help people with mindset as well. And so that's why we called it the Menternship, because it was a mentoring program and an internship program combined. And essentially what the Menternship does is it's a 12-week program, and our signature programming takes our interns through vigorous, intense personal development. They get mindset coaching. Exalt actually is who developed the curriculum for it. They also learn business and brand management. They'll work on Exalt client accounts, and we'll also take them on an all expense paid business trip. So we've taken them to New York, we've taken them to LA, and have partnered
Nice.
with amazing
Okay.
companies like Nike, Viacom, the Oprah Winfrey Network, Magic Johnson Enterprises. And when we take the girls there, it's a few things that happen that I absolutely love. One of the things is that some of the companies will, present them with like challenges. Like I remember we took them to Ralph Lauren, and Ralph Lauren had this shirt that was made up out of, I think, 12 plastic water bottles. They were, trying to be environmentally friendly.
Yeah.
And they asked the girls to, based off of what they learned in programming, to put together like a marketing pitch. And they only had 30 minutes to do it.
30
So
minutes.
30
Oh,
minutes,
wow.
come up with this idea, put it together, pitch it to us, practicing their confidence and their articulation and their delivery, and also putting together some of the business and branding and marketing practices they learned in programming, and literally presenting this to the Ralph Lauren team in real time. So doing things like that.
Wow.
Or one of my other favorite things to do, favorite things to mention is like when we went to Magic Johnson Enterprises, they had everyone in that room, all the way up to the president. And the girls were able to ask things about, what's the business trajectory, in the next 5 years. They also were able to ask, like, have you ever dealt with depression, and how did you keep showing up to work when you had to deal with that?
Wow.
Because
That is
the
an
nature of the program has that inner component. Our partners already knew what type of time the girls would be on, what type of questions that they would be asking. So it's really just an amazing, holistic experience for them. We also do micro grants and have done incubators and things of that sort to be able to help fund Black businesses, Black women-owned businesses, Black and brown women-owned businesses. So that's been a really big joy of mine. And right now we're taking a little hiatus because we're trying to get together a new board structure, trying to make things tighter, trying to get in more income and more funding so that we can serve the girls and reach more people. But it really is one of the things that I am most proud of having done.
yeah. I was just going to say it is um awesome to hear that they have those types of questions, right? That
Mm-hmm.
it's not just about, oh, what are your sales projections, right? But how how do you these things that actually really matter? I mean, sales, of course, matter, but the things that matter, how do you push through? How do you overcome those challenges? Those are the things that are really going to help us to get to that next level, right? Tackling the mindset, making sure that we have the support systems, the mentors, and the mindset.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you for sharing that. Now I'm just curious, what age range were the girls in the program?
Yes. So sophomores, juniors, and seniors in college.
Okay,
Yeah.
excellent,
Mhm.
excellent. Yes, our young women having those type of resources can really change the trajectory of their careers and their lives ultimately. So thank you for that. Just some final thoughts before we wrap things up. It has been great connecting with you and talking about mindset. Um, I wanted to find out from you personally, um, in the years that you've been running the business, what has kind of been the most fulfilling, um, or I would say the most inspiring part about the work that you do?
It's being able to see my clients in real time, to see their beliefs spark back up.
Mm.
Like that is, it's like when we're on our sessions and I can see like that aha moment, I can see that light bulb go off, I can see that confidence increase. I almost like to say, like, you can borrow my belief in you. When I can see my belief and my faith in
Mm.
them being the thing that helps them to believe in themselves and that can push them, that is definitely the most fulfilling. And when they go do it, when they go implement the action plans, and when they go do the thing that they feel called to do, when they I love working long term with clients, clients that are like on a program, because I get to really see and witness their evolution and see them really lean into purpose and become more closely connected with themselves, to see them begin to trust their inner voice more. To see them put in that work is like, wow, like I'm so proud of you. And
Mhm.
to see the fruit, like, and not just the fruit around them, but to see the fruit that has developed in them, that's that's the most fulfilling thing for sure.
Yeah, I definitely feel that, and I definitely appreciate, the work that you do, with people of all backgrounds. It's very important, to for each and every one of us to have someone who believes in us,
Mhm.
someone who wants us to succeed. So I thank you for that, and the work that you do, with young people, but also adults who are, having a significant impact on our young people, those people who are in the media, who are in the spotlight, and their actions, um, things that they do and things that they don't do, really do have an impact on our future generation of leaders. So thank you, for all that you're doing to pour into them as well. But for those who are watching who want to, uh, continue to follow your journey or to learn more about the work that you do, how
Mhm.
can they get in touch?
Yeah, so you guys can connect with me on all social media platforms. My at is at LEXALT, Lexalt. It's a play off of my company name and my name, my
Mhm.
nickname. Um, you can also hit the email button that is on my Instagram page if you want to contact me. And yeah, stay connected with me on social.
Okay, wonderful. Well, I definitely want to stay connected with you. It has, definitely been a pleasure to learn more about the work that you do, but also, just hearing some tips how we can all, transform our mindset, so that we can have a mindset for success. So thank you so much, Alexis. We definitely appreciate having you as part of our Be Empowered interview series. So for those of you, watching, if you know someone who we should connect with, amazing folks like Alexis, please let us know. Drop it in the comments, or you can reach out to Empowered Flower Girl directly. So thank you, Alexis, for all that you do. And, it has been truly wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. And thank you for the work you're doing.
Thank you. I appreciate that.